Okay, thank you everybody. I'm surprised by your love and showing so much people show up. So again, I want to introduce you to the Safdar. He's the MC with Masal. She both will be introducing everybody else. Thank you.
So, as you know, misal is, in Urdu they say be-misal. So she is actually be-misal. That means there's nobody like her. So with that note, I will ask Misal to do rest of the evening and introduce herself.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here with all of you today. We're going to try to do this in a timely manner because I know, of course, we are here to fundraise, but we are also here to be desi and to eat and to celebrate. So I'm super excited to join you all today. I'm going to take a seat and then we'll go ahead and get started. As I said, good evening, everyone, and welcome. It is truly an honor to see so many passionate individuals gathered here tonight, united by a common vision for positive change in our community. You are all here because you are dedicated to making a difference, and we are grateful for your support. The essence of democracy, as many of you know, lies in the power of collective action. Each one of us plays a crucial role in shaping the future we want to see. Tonight is not just about fundraising, it is about building a stronger, more inclusive community where every voice is heard and every person is valued. I would also like to congratulate Dr. Naveed, our gracious host, alongside Dr. Safdar, Dr. Nasser, Arusa, and Jim, and all of our other volunteers and individuals that have played a very significant role in making tonight happen. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. A round of applause. Let's get the energy up before we begin. Amazing. I'm going to stand up for this one, so I'd like to start off by welcoming an excellent panel of individuals with diverse experiences and stories that we hope to hear from and learn from today. We have public servants who are currently in office, we have those who are running in upcoming elections, and we're also joined by individuals who work behind the scenes on campaigns and field organization that leads to successful wins. Lastly, we are also joined by leaders from across Arizona representing their respective Afghan, Bengali, Palestinian, Burmese, Sudanese, and Turkish communities. So a shout out to all of them too. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Now, if I may, I'd love to begin with introducing our first guest and speaker of the night. To give you a better sense of how tonight will run, we have a bunch of these candidates and individuals here. We'll give them a chance to, give you a sense of who they are and why their work is so important. We'll go through our amazing panel that we have, and then we'll go on to hear from our guest speaker today, our true guest of honor, Mr. Imran Siddiqui. So stay tuned, and let's get excited. We're here for an amazing effort. Perfect. I will pass it over to Mr. Jerry Sheridan. He is running for Maricopa County Sheriff. Jerry has been in Arizona since 1978 and first started his career in law enforcement in 1977, moving up the ranks to Chief of Custody. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office jail system makes up 75% of the personnel and budget of the office, a job made more challenging as a responsibility for the larger construction project ever undertaken by the county government was placed in his lap. Jerry was also able to finally settle the 30-plus year-long federal litigation involving inmate rights, originally known as Hart v. Hill. During the 12 years Jerry was the Chief of Custody, he was appointed to the Arizona Peace Officers Standards and Training Board, first by Governor Hull, then by 2 subsequent governors, something he considers a highlight of his career. He also obtained his master's in organizational management and graduated from the FBI National Academy. In 2010, Sheriff Arpaio asked Jerry to become his chief deputy. The decision to run for sheriff of Maricopa County in 2024 was easy for him, knowing how difficult a task it will be. And I will pass it over to him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. What a great introduction. So I spent 40 years at the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, and 17 of those years I spent in a patrol car, in a uniform, protecting the people in my area. And I always thought that it was important for law enforcement to be blind to the people that you're taking care of. It doesn't matter what color their skin are, what religion they are. If somebody is doing something bad, they need to go to jail. I made it very simple. If somebody's doing something good, we need to take good care of the good people. So when I become your sheriff, God willing, I will make sure I put out an order to my deputies, in particular, that are out here on the streets. And that is a very simple rule. take good care of all the good people. If that means changing somebody's tire or getting a cat out of a tree, that's what they need to be doing. But if somebody violates the law, they need to be held accountable for that. And that's what the sheriff does. And a lot of you may not be familiar about the office of the sheriff, but the sheriff is the only elected law enforcement official in the country. So the sheriff, there's 15 sheriffs here in Arizona. The one I'm running for here is in Maricopa County, which is basically this Phoenix metropolitan area. And we do our job because as an elected official, the sheriff only reports to you, the people of this county, all 4.6 million of them. And I don't care whether they're Democrats, Independents, Republicans. To me, I'm going to be the sheriff for all the people of this county. And I hope you understand that. That's the way I always did my job. That's the way I was taught. When I was brand new deputy, I was assigned out here to the Queen Creek area. And one of the guys took me in. I'd call him a redneck. You know, he's a Marine from, and he got out of the Marine Corps. He grew up here in this area, and he put me in a patrol car one day, and he says, "I'm going to take you out here." And there was a lot of orange orchards and grape vineyards here, and he took me out on a Friday afternoon to a migrant work camp, and they were all Hispanic. And we got out of the car, and instead of people running away, they ran towards us, the women, the children, the men that were working here. And so when we got back, he introduced me to everybody, so I knew the people in my area. And so when I got back in the car, and Chuck said, "Do you know why I did that?" And I said, "It's just so I know the people." He said, "I want them to get to know you because you're here to protect every one of them. And that's what your job is, Jerry, is to protect the innocent people from people that will prey on them." And that's the way I will approach running the sheriff's office. Now, like in my bio, it said 75% of the sheriff's office is that jail system. So all the people that get arrested in Maricopa County, and there's 25 law enforcement agencies that use us, they're our customer. We have to take care of those people that get put into our custody that are arrested. 80% of those people in the jail system, there's about 8,000 people in jail, about 80% of them haven't been convicted of a crime yet. They're pre-sentenced. So they have constitutional rights. I consider myself a constitutional conservative, but don't let me scare you if you're a Democrat or an independent, because what that means to me is that the Constitution of the United States protects every person in this county, whether they're here legally, whether they're here illegally or not. It protects every person in this county. And I understand that as somebody that believes very strongly in our Constitution. And that's the way I will administer my job. So one of the things that we have right now, we have a major problem in the jail system because we have a sheriff that didn't understand that. And we've averaged, not me, but the last 7 years, 49 deaths a year in that jail system. And it's so important for the sheriff, 75% of his job is to take care of those people in his care, custody, and control. And I ran those jails for 12 years, and we didn't have this problem. So I have the experience, the education, the training, and the absolute desire to do my best as your sheriff to protect all of you and your children and your grandchildren and all of the people in this county. And that's my pledge to you. So are there any questions? Is there anything that somebody has on their mind? Yes, sir.
So the ballot measure that the legislative body passed that's supposed to go to the voters this November, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, so the question was the ballot measure that the House passed to send to the voters on making it illegal to be in Arizona. My answer to that is fairly simple. The federal government has failed us as a country with open borders. Now, you know you can't have a country if you don't have borders. So there have been 10 million people that come across this southern border that Arizona can protect itself. The Constitution allows the state to protect itself if it believes there's an invasion. I think 10 million people coming across the border, we don't know who they are. And a lot of them, and I say this all the time, back in the day, it's no longer the poor Hispanic worker from Mexico, South America, coming here, leaving his family, coming here and working hard, and every Friday sending his money back home. Now we are having people that are military age, single males, that are coming here that don't believe in our system of freedom and government and would like to do us harm. So I think there needs to be some kind of check and balance since we have a broken immigration system. So I would say that I would like to see something done. I don't know if that's the right thing that needs to be done, but we need a better control. I would imagine many of you came here and did it the hard way. Did it, and it took years, it took a lot of money, and the waiting list. The other thing that I have on my mind, and I always did, was what about the people that are trying to come to this country and live within our freedoms, that are doing it the right way, and it takes them years to get here? I think those 10 million people are cheating them out of coming here legally. Well, the sheriff, yes. The question was, would I support the law? Yes, the sheriff has to support the law. The sheriff doesn't make the law. The sheriff has to enforce the law, and that's what the sheriff does. And again, when I take an oath, I will take an oath to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona. And I will be true to my oath. Okay, thank you so much. I have some signs in the back, and I know you're probably going to hear this by some of the others here, but I have some yard signs. If you like what I said, please take one, put it in your yard. That means a lot to me and the people there. Oh, yes, I have another question.
Yeah, hello, I'm Sharon, and thank you so much for coming today. I had two questions, actually, and I'm really excited to get to meet you. But my questions really pertain to the last 2 points in your flyer. One of them is about Tent City, and if you can talk, so you mentioned that it would, what would be the benefit? So that's one question. And then my other question, so one question is, what is the benefit of bringing back Tent City? Because to be honest with you, I've always kind of been against it, but perhaps I might be convinced. And my other question is about reinstating the sheriff's posse. My concern with that is typically when you have people volunteer in any sort of security, even like basic church, masjid, mosque security, sometimes you have people that goes to their head, so they start, and it sounds kind of funny, like even within our mosque security, people kind of start abusing their power, And so how do you make sure with the sheriff's posse that would not happen? So those are my two questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Those are two great questions.
Thank you.
Tent City, now I ran those jails for 12 years. Bruce, I worked with Bruce. Tent City plays a key role in teaching people not to commit crime again. Tent City was for people that have been convicted of a minor crime, like drunk driving. And I know some of my family members and some of my friends spent some time in Tent City, and they always walked away with, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to drink and drive again. It played a key role in how we managed our inmates. It also allowed us to have a work release and work furlough program. So for the last 7 years, we haven't had that. And what that means is, and I have a lot of Democrat defense attorneys that are supporting my campaign because they like the way I ran the jail system, because work release and work furlough allows people, if you get 10 days in jail, you can go to work during the day and you come back at night and you don't lose your job. And that's the number one way to keep crime down, keep people from recommitting crime, is to keep them employed. So it plays a key role in that. And I got to tell you, Joe Arpaio, the guy that I worked for 24 years, he made it sound like it was a gulag, okay? He made it sound really terrible, but the reality was about 90% of the inmates would rather be in Tent City than they would in a hard facility, because it was like this. It was like a camp out. And they could go in during the day and they could stand in the shower all day long in the heat if they wanted to. And the vast majority of them worked. They worked in the laundry, they worked in the kitchen, so they ate better. And so Arpaio made it sound like it was really bad. Not everybody liked it. I'm not going to fool you, right? But it was a good tool to keep people, low-level, first-time offenders, from wanting to come back in jail. That's number one. Bruce.
Jerry, we worked together for almost 30 years at the sheriff's office. Can you elaborate to these fine folks the makeup of the sheriff's office? There's a lot of fathers and sons, mothers and daughters that work at the sheriff's office from all around Phoenix,
Yes.
Chandler.
You know, it's a very diverse organization. We have very large Hispanic employees, and black and Asians also, and so it's not just a white-dominated environment. So I think that's what Bruce's point was. Okay, your other question was, well, I forgot already. The posse. Okay. So like everyone else, and you kind of alluded to it, is that when you get authority, right, it does go to some people's head. And a lot of us, when we first get that badge pinned on, you know, we think, oh, we're invincible and we're this and we're that. But it takes a little bit of training and maturity for people to relax from that. So when we hire people, when people volunteer to work in the posse, they go through a background check, they go through a psych test, and they go through a lot of the same training that our deputies and detention officers do. The other thing is, and I sat on the post board for 12 years. I had a Democrat governor reappoint me. I had 2 Republican governors appoint me to that board, and that oversees all the discipline and training throughout the state. And so what we do, we do a good job here. If somebody steps out of line, if they have some racial issues or they abuse their force or their power, we call them out and we get rid of them and we discipline them. And sometimes we even prosecute them. And I can tell you, as a man that stood here, I fired my own nephew, who was a detective with the sheriff's office. So I'm not afraid to do that with my own family members. I certainly wouldn't be afraid to do that with anyone else. And I know we've got a lot more speakers. Yes. I'll be here for a little while. If you've got a question, you know, when we break up a little bit, please come over and talk to me. And I'm very humbled that you even invited me to this event. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. For the purposes of the event, we will be doing the rest of the Q&As for all of our panelists at the very end. I know people are eager to ask questions and have a discussion, and we're glad you are open to being so passionate and you know that this policy is impactful in our communities. But what we're going to do, like I said, is hear from every single representative and candidate that is here, and at the very end we will have a Q&A session for you to talk directly. Now we will move on to Arizona State Senator Ana Hernandez. Ana was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. She is a first-generation daughter of hardworking Mexican-born parents. Before being an elected official, Ana spent the majority of her career in banking, specializing in mortgage lending, followed by commercial lending. She began getting involved in community organizing and advocacy work with a heavy focus on police accountability and funding after her little brother Alex was killed by Phoenix police in April 2019 while he was facing mental health issues. Her family was then impacted by the loss of her father in January 2021 to COVID-19 after being forced to return to his maintenance job during the pandemic. In 2022, Ana decided to run for the state senator position for Legislative District 24. She serves on the Senate Elections Committee as ranking member on the Senate Judiciary Committee, co-chair of the bicameral Housing Working Group, and is the current chair of the Arizona Legislative Latino Caucus. Since being elected, she has proven she can get bipartisan results done on affordable housing, abortion, reproductive rights protections, mental health solutions, community safety, police accountability, while staying committed to her values. Ana is rooted in community, is pro-humanity, and will fight for the right thing, even if it is not popular. Her work is and will continue to focus on how to get critical resources to our community members and improve the material conditions for those most impacted by systemic issues. Thank you so much, and let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you so much, everybody. Buenas noches. Yo me llamo Ana Hernandez. My name is Ana Hernandez. I'm the current state senator for Legislative District 24. Thank you so much. I feel like I know a lot of people in this space, so thank you so much for allowing me to partake in this event to really highlight Imran that is running for Congress. So I'm just very, very humbled and appreciative that you're allowing me some time to speak and share a little bit about my story with you, which is pretty appropriate coming off the previous speaker. So I will let you know that I have never wanted to be in politics. I never wanted to be an elected official, but ultimately, what we have learned and what we see is that there are people in positions of power that make political-based decisions that affect our everyday lives. And those decisions aren't often equitable in nature. And so they do affect marginalized communities more so than affluent communities. And that is how I got politically involved in 2019. My little brother, which was also my best friend, was dealing with some mental health issues, and resources in my neighborhoods aren't really affordable or accessible. So growing up, we always were taught to, police is our friends and they're there to help us. Unfortunately, what we've seen is that I live in a city that has one of the most violent police departments in the country, and that is not up for debate. There is data that shows that Phoenix PD is one of the most violent police departments in the country from 2018 to now. The data shows that, and why I got involved is because those decisions affected my family dearly. It cost us very heavily when there was policy failures. As we know and we saw, COVID came around, and my family was again impacted because I live in a community that doesn't have the best access to healthcare. That we were seeing some of the highest COVID infection rates with the lowest testing and the lowest vaccination available. And so, understanding that the way that our lives look and our neighborhoods look and the resources that we have available in our communities are based on political decisions by mostly folks that don't understand the impact of those decisions. So in 2022, I ran for the state Senate on a very bold platform that meant that I was going to stay grounded in community and that I was going to govern with values, because values and family and community are crucial to our progress. And so I ran on that platform. I won by 15 points. I took office and now have led and delivered on huge solutions on the biggest issues that are facing our people in our communities, which is housing. And in a moment when we are seeing so many attacks on our rights, I have proudly served on elections committee to push back on extremists and election deniers that are controlling our state laws and writing our state laws to take away our power to vote, because as more of us vote, the laws start to change. And if the laws don't change, we have to change the people that are making those laws. We have to. I think one of the proudest moments for me when I reflect on my short time being in office is that I was the senator that led on repealing the 1864 abortion ban for the state of Arizona. Thank you. In a time when we are seeing such extremism at the Arizona State Legislature, in the moment we're also seeing attacks on our First Amendment rights. They're trying to shut down our free speech. We have seen that play out at the universities. We have seen that play out in different atmospheres. And it is because we as elected officials have to look at what's happening in the world. In my introduction, it was, we mentioned that I will take the right stance even if it's not popular. And I have taken that stance. And I've been vocal, especially in this moment where we are seeing a genocide happen in Palestine. We have to show up for each other, and we have to take the right stance, because at the end of the day, if we are not governing and representing our entire community, we are not doing our job properly. And to me, that is so, so important, because that is the one thing that is going to move us forward. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also, you might hear that I am very vocal on law enforcement, and there's a reason for that. As I've taken the time to really look at the policy around criminalization. Arizona incarcerates people at the 8th highest rate in the country. And we are looking to make criminalizing people a solution to every problem we face. I do not believe in that. I believe that we should be investing in root cause issues that are happening. Why is crime happening? We need to make sure that people can afford to live, can afford their groceries, can afford their rent, can afford health care, have a good public education. That is how we move forward. That is how our communities will thrive. And so I am so proud of the work that I have done around all those topics in the state Senate. And I am proud to share that now I am running for Phoenix Council District 7 because I want to take that fight back home and take it even more local and make sure that there is progressive and fair and equitable representation on the Phoenix Council so that we are developing policy and passing policy that is best for all of our communities, that is putting investments into people, that is putting investment into our families, that is putting investment into our community so we can actually thrive and live healthy and joyous lives. On your tables, you will probably find a little information about myself. I'm happy, again, thank you so much for including me in this. I'm looking forward to some Q&As and really thankful to be here to support Imran in his run for Congress.
Thank you so much. Round of applause. Amazing. I would now like to bring up Ajlan Kurdoglu, who's running for City Council in Chandler. He was born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey, and after graduating as an industrial engineer, he finished his studies at Thunderbird Graduate School of International Management with his MBA. As a proud immigrant and first-generation American, AJ called Arizona home and built his small business here in the East Valley more than 20 years ago. He's actively involved in local state politics, and he's proud to serve his community and work for the betterment of our great state of Arizona. He ran in 2020 for Arizona State Senate, the first Turkish American in a general election for state Senate across the United States, and gathered the most ever Democratic votes in his district. He was endorsed by President of the United States, Obama at the time, and Biden, and many other national and Arizona-based organizations and unions. He is currently running for the Chandler City Council member position and is excited to have a chance to represent his community, his neighbors at the City Council. His platform for the council race focuses on workforce housing, combating teen violence, and supporting small and local businesses, finding hopefully a solution to Chandler's constant traffic. He lives in North Chandler and with his wife, who was ESL Teacher of the Year in Arizona State in 2018, and we're excited to have him here. Everyone have a round of applause.
Thank you, Misal. Good evening, dear friends, neighbors. Thank you for having me here in this beautiful event. I want to say thank you to Dr. Khan for opening this beautiful house and creating this gathering. I appreciate it. And my name is Ajlan Kurdoglu. You can call me AJ. And with your support, with the support of our community, I will be your next Chandler City Council member. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. And my story is very similar to your story. I was born and raised in Istanbul, Turkey. I finished college out there. I decided to get my master's degree. I came to Arizona to Thunderbird, received that, and then I realized I love this place. I love its people, I love its nature, and I always like to say that it's 110 degrees of dry heat. So I decided to make Arizona home. And of course, just like all of us, that opens our immigration journey. It took me about 13 years to become a proud U.S. citizen. 13 long, stressful, emotional time, but very well worth it. And I made Chandler home. I built my business here. I built my home here. I met the love of my life. We started our family. And that's practically the American dream. And that's why I'm running. I'm running so that our neighbors, our friends will have a little bit easier time than we have to realize their own dream. My platform, we can talk about the betterment of community, workforce housing, those are important. We have a crazy traffic here, we have to work on that. I want to support local and small businesses. But most importantly, since considering this crowd that we have here, I feel like I'm in home. It's like family. I ran office in 2020 for Arizona State Senate. I've been endorsed by presidents. I received 61,000 of votes. But the most emotional thing that day for me was after the election, I received several emails from our community here saying that they were proud to see me out there. They were proud to see my name. They were proud to see someone with a different name, with a different color of skin running for office from one of their own. They were happy to see their young kids. They were excited about it. And I carry this right here all the time. I mean, our community, especially here in Chandler, are so successful with business, academia, healthcare. I mean, all of the engineers are here from this community. But there is one place that we are lacking representation. We're not showing our strength, and that's the political field. And we need to get involved. And that's one of the reasons that I'm doing this again, running for Chandler City Council so that younger people can have easier time next time. We need to be on these tables. We need to bring our shared values and point of view to those environments. We understand that especially now this year, how important it is to have people like us in those places so that we can have a voice in our city, in our state, and especially right now in our city council. Thank you. Thank you. So the job that we do, it's not easy. We are playing our part. We're being candidate. We're carrying the torch forward. But we need you guys. We cannot do this alone. We need you by our side to work on our election. We need you by our side to tell your neighbors, to tell your friends, to vote for the right people to make changes in our city, and our state, and our county, I would say. And tonight, we gathered here to support our dear brother, Imran Siddiqui, so that he can bring this fight to D.C. So this is what I'm going to ask from all of you. Be generous. Open your wallets and support our brother, Imran Siddiqui. You have all his envelopes out there. There is one thing that I heard. Donate till when it hurts. Not just small amount. When it starts hurting, that's your limit. Do it that tonight. And then, think about your local candidates here. I want two things from you. Well, three. Your vote on July 30th, so I can represent you at the City Council. Before then, I need you on my campaign. And the third thing, if you have a little bit of money left, contribute to our campaign as well. I love you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Again, my name is AJ, and I'll be, with your support, your next Chandler City Council member. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And a perfect reminder that this is not just about what's happening in DC, but it's what's happening in our local communities in our state. So thank you for that reminder. I would like to now introduce Council Member Christine Ellis. I'll provide a bit of background on what she does and who she is. She was born and raised in Haiti and moved to the United States in 1982. She has resided in Chandler since 1987. She's been married to her husband, Benjamin, for 36 years with daughter Talia, son Sean, who forever live in their hearts. Councilmember Ellis has a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Grand Canyon University and currently attends Walden University in the Psychiatric Mental Health Nurse Practitioner program. She's worked as an RN for many large hospitals and care facilities while holding many high-level positions, such as Director of Nursing in Metro Phoenix area. Christine has also taught various medical fields and certified nursing classes in Arizona's community colleges. She holds an honorary doctorate in humanities as presented by the 1000 Shades of Women International. From 1998 to 2015, she founded and operated Cedar Sanctuary, LLC, realizing that families needed an alternative to caring for their loved ones. In addition to caring for the elderly, she's been part of the foundation of the Bridge FCS ministry for more than 22 years, which helps to feed the local homeless population and provides to their spiritual needs, partnering alongside other ministries in Arizona. Councilmember Ellis was honored with a Presidential Medal for her commitment and dedication to community outreach services. So a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. There's no need for me to rehash who I am. I think they already told you a little bit about me. But what makes me able to stand in front of you today? I think it's because there are people like you sitting here. And when I looked at this crowd, I've seen people that I've served with all along the way. 38 years here in Chandler, I have done all I can to be in our community. I've worked with so many of the doctors in this place and so many of my friends who currently have organizations that are touching people in every area of their lives. In 1998, when I looked around me, I wanted to not only continue to work for Chandler Hospital, but I also wanted to be able to make a difference into so many other people's lives. That's when I founded my own business. And just like many of you, probably a lot more than I think, I wrote my first business plan on a little piece of napkin. And because of the opportunity that this country have afforded me, in 2015, when I sold our business, it was a multi-million-dollar business. How was I able to do that? I think there was reason why we did it. We did it because there are people in our community who needed to see people like me in a place they have never dreamed of being. And myself in that place afford them an opportunity for them to see if she can do it with such a thick accent, and if she can go there, so can I. And it was the same principle for me in 2018. Never wanted to be in politics because I'm a servant leader at heart. I want to touch people's lives. I want to see their quality of life change. One thing that I live with is the fact that I never want to meet anyone to leave them unchanged for the better, and myself, as a matter of fact, unchanged for the better. And so in 2018, when that call came to me, it was very clear that I was going to have to answer it. And as people of faith, I will say that I had to do a 21-day fast. After that 21-day fast, I felt very clearly that God wanted me to be his voice on this council. And nobody believed in me. Nobody thought that I was going to run. I'm a little black girl from Haiti. What do I know? And by the grace of God, I got top vote getter, and I was the first black woman ever to be on that council. And when I came with these 4 things in mind. I was going to impact into the area of education, because right now I'm standing in front of you because of the product of education. It is said that for every girl and boys that we educate, we take 90 people out of poverty. If you don't believe me, look back home. I'm looking at Haiti now. I'm looking into our community to see those that we have impacted in that area. I decided that I was going to bring higher education into Chandler, and we did that. Currently, we have U of A downtown Chandler. We have GCU with a nursing school. $6 million they have right now to onboard people with only a 3.0 GPA. You don't need anything else to get into that program. We did that. We work with ASU. We're saying that no one will stop going to school because of money, because we are there for them. Number 2, I said that I want to make sure that I see the businesses in Chandler grow in the area of free market solution. If you believe me, as a little girl, I grew up with a grandfather who was an exporter of cacao, sugar, big plantation. But the one thing my grandfather always taught me, if they give you $1, turn it into 100,000. And so we believe in giving fishes. We believe in teaching the others how to fish. But we also believe in also creating pond for others to fish in. And so that's what this city has afforded me to do. The third thing that I said I'm going to make a great impact into is the area of enriching our neighborhoods. As a psych nurse, I realized that we had a really big issue with mental health. Not only with mental health with those that we serve and people that are in our own neighborhoods, but we also see that it was happening into our police department. We also see that the police department did not have a way to get out of after they see something that was really going to push them over the edge. And so I work right now in the city of Chandler. We have a mental health unit. So if something is happening to your loved one who is having an issue with mental health, we dispatch those people there because they're being trained to serve and to protect those who are having mental health issues. Lastly, there's no question that diversity here in Chandler was important to me. We are the most diverse city in Arizona. We have 13% of people of Asian descent here in Arizona. Right here in Chandler. They are among us. You are part of that populace. I am part of it as a black woman from Haiti. And so I wanted to make sure that we had a non-discriminatory ordinance that was going to afford us to be able, I didn't want it just to be a piece of paper sitting on the shelf, but I wanted to work, and we hire a company to come here and do a survey to make sure that we understood that where was the problem. Because it is in my mind that when the head is sick, the whole body is sick. So we have to work together. Today I stand before you with one tagline: for the love of Chandler. I have no agenda. I have no other motive. I told people I had enough shoes, I had enough bags, and I had enough houses, 19 of them. And so I am standing here right now to serve. And I'm only here to serve. And so at your service, here I am. And whatever I can do to help, and wherever you need me, that's where I'm going to be to serve. Sir, I want to thank you for saying yes to this. I want to thank you for saying yes for my girl, for my daughter, who's going to be graduating from medical school next year as an orthopedic surgeon. I want to thank you for saying yes for her. Because we don't know. I never thought that I would be standing here as an elected official. But because you have said yes, something in you have to rise up, not only for those who are here, but those who are coming. And so I implore you today, your yes matters to me, and it matters to everyone here today. So thank you. Thank you for the sacrifice. Thank you for your wife, who has started this work here in Chandler with you. And now you guys are continuing it there. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I can see the anticipation in the crowd that where is our kana, where is our dinner, but please, please stay strong. There are so many other candidates that we want to hear from. So there's a couple others left. We want to give them a chance to properly talk to you. 5 minutes, inshallah, God willing, we will keep it at 5 minutes. Okay, we next have Umar Chaudhry, who is running for school board in Chandler. He was born and raised in Arizona. He spent a year in Germany as an exchange student during high school, followed by time at Wentworth Military Academy. He received his bachelor's at ASU and taught in a Title I school for over 7 years. He lives in Chandler in a very diverse school district with a plethora of minorities and cultures. He's dedicated to ensuring each child has the ability to succeed regardless of their background. His passion for advocacy is what motivated him to run for the school board in the first place, so he continues to push for policies that are in the best interest of his students and his district. So here he goes.
Thank you. A couple people I really need to thank before I even say anything. First of all, my dad. Thank you. Most important, other than my mom, the most important woman here, Miss Nosley. I know you were my preschool teacher, but you will always be known as Miss Nosley Maharna. Beyond her, Asif and Anjam Majid. If it wasn't for you two, I would not have had my start in education. So I have to thank you guys. Other importantly, Dr. Naveed, you've shaped my life more than you ever realized. So I don't know. I'll leave it at that for now. So what am I running for? Chandler School Board. A lot of you have children who actually go within the Chandler School District, and I'm very happy for you guys. And I hope you understand just as well as I do, Chandler School District is one of the best districts in the state. There is very little doubt, if you look at the data, how well the Chandler District does. However, there's one issue which always gets back to me, and something that I always wonder about is how is that we have some of the best schools in the state, yet we have about all the schools that are north of the 202, they are not doing as well. Most of the schools that are north of the 202, they are all Title I schools, and unfortunately, they are not achieving at the same level or rate that that all of our other schools are doing. And as much as I know, all the teachers are doing a great job. All of the administrators are doing a great job. All the students are working as hard as they possibly can. But we don't know what's stopping them. My main focus is to bridge this gap between our Title I schools and the rest of our schools. I want to see them all succeed. I want to see every student in Chandler, doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what school you go to, that you can get into Arizona State, you can get into U of A, well, preferably not U of A, but NAU. Sorry, Sun Devil at heart. But I really hope that you guys can help me sign the petition. When it comes down time in November, vote. Don't forget, don't just put it off. Put your name on the paper. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Mark the right box. Actually mail it in. Put your name on the paper. Well, sign your name on the front side, on the envelope. Please sign your name. I don't want it to get rejected. But guys, thank you. One other thing, to all the aunties and uncles, it's been a great seeing you my entire life. I love you guys. So I'll leave it up to the next person.
Thank you so much. We now have Shams Abdussamad, the current secretary of the Democratic Party in Maricopa County. She has been involved with the Democratic Party since 2007. She served as a precinct committee person, a volunteer, a state committee person, and an at-large executive committee member for the Democratic Party. She's also served 5 terms as the treasurer for Legislative District 11. She works tirelessly to serve her community, currently serving as an executive board member for the Levine Community Council, a local nonprofit that works for the betterment of Levine and South Phoenix. She's the elected secretary of the Maricopa County Democratic Party, like I said, and she's currently working on the #1 battleground in the nation. So I'd love to introduce her and get her to speak now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be upon you and good evening, everyone. I'm Shams Abdussamad. I also ran for a state house in 2022 along with Brother Ajlan. And I want to resonate what my previous speakers has been talking about in terms of importance of this election, in terms of importance of voting and everything in that regards. So I'm not going to repeat everything, but I do want to say that I'm here to support Brother Imran. This is the time for all of us to support him so that our voice can be resonated with his election. Brother Imran is running from Washington State, so that means that it's going to be how many days from today that we have? I did the calculations. 57 days till the primary that's going to be on August 6th. How many more days, guys? 57. That's when the dreams becomes reality. And whatever it takes, along with the donations that I hope that you're going to be generous, we need much, much more. We need you to be active. This is your campaign. You want to be part of it. As a former candidate, I can vouch for it. The number of hard works that goes behind it. So I want to thank Mr. Imran and his family for taking this partake and working on this campaign that's coming up. So please support him any way which you can, and also all the candidates that are here today. And as from a Maricopa County Democratic Party, I'm here to support you if you need anything from my end. And thank you very much. I also want to thank the host family as well. Thank you all.
Amazing. Thank you so, so much. We have our last speaker before Mr. Imran Siddiqui will get a chance to talk to us. We have Patty Serrano from the Chandler School District Board. She became the first elected Latina to serve our Chandler Unified School District Governing Board in a district with 30% Latino student population. She's currently serving her second year in office and was elected as vice president of the school board this year. She's an Arizona native, born of immigrant parents with a strong community and upbringing. She graduated from Chandler Unified-owned Hamilton High School in 2001. After starting her family, she continued her family's legacy with her child attending our CUSD public schools as well. She's a proud public school mom and proven advocate for our educators in schools with immediate family who has worked in the district for over 20 years now. She tries her best to bring progressive and inclusive representation to CUSD that prioritizes the best education we can offer at our schools for our children, our educators, our staff, and community at large. She recognizes the intersectional struggles and oppression across our diverse communities and seeks to center and uplift those too often unseen, unheard, and underrepresented. A round of applause, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. It's a true honor to be in the good company we keep this evening and beyond in support of Imran, our next U.S. representative for Washington's 8th Congressional District. As Vice President of our local Chandler Unified School District, that we are grouping together this evening, thanks to Dr. Khan and his family, I want to welcome everybody to CUSD. I feel strong and proud to be a part of the people power we hold in this space this evening. We, you, I have chosen to show up. Tonight, we show up for and with Imran in community, knowing that in doing so, we are showing up for peace. We are showing up for the right to life we know all humans, all children deserve in doing so. Something so right, so pure, so just, something we know we're doing on the right side of history. Yet, we live in a time where politics, money, and power take precedent for some.
Come on.
But the people, we rise. This space is the embodiment of strength in diversity, in strength in representation and allyship, strength in community, and strength in love and saying no more. We deserve and will come together to help elect representation that puts people and a ceasefire first. Representation that I know we will have in Imran to a healthy, safe, thriving communities for all of us. This is the work. And I am grateful to be a part of our communities that show up time and time again and see each other in our intersectional struggles. Let us be sure to please educate ourselves up and down our ballots this November and put people first by electing friends like Imran for Congress, like Ana Hernandez for Phoenix City Council, like my friend AJ Ajlan Kردoglu for our very own Chandler City Council. This is how we work for a better tomorrow. Y que viva, viva Palestina. Long live Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you so, so much for not only impactful words, but ones that are extremely motivating for the upcoming elections. I want to now remind you all that we are here for Mr. Imran Siddiqui, and on top of that, we are here to fundraise, to equip these talented individuals with the resources, the ability to continue fighting for us and representing us here and in DC. So I'll invite Zakir now to formally introduce Mr. Siddiqui, and then we'll go ahead and get started. And Zakir, feel free to come on up and we'll go ahead and begin.
Alhamdulillah, thank you everyone for coming today. We're here specifically for this fundraiser for Brother Imran Siddiqui. I have a familial connection to him. He has also been my boss on multiple fronts at Where You Being Coffee, who we have brought some coffee today for everyone to enjoy, inshallah. He spent many years establishing that business. At the same time, running a civil rights organization. So he not only talks the talk, he walks the walk. And he has, mashallah, conducted himself in that way consistently for many years, and that's what we're here, to put him forward so that he can do that at the highest level, inshallah. So I would like to introduce my uncle Imran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Look at this crowd, mashallah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah. Thank you so much, everybody. Each and every one of you who have shown up today. This is just to see this mass of humanity here. I feel like I'm at a family reunion. This is my neighborhood. This is where we were for the past, from 2005 to 2020. We've literally walked these streets. We've gone to all of your houses. We've broken bread together and celebrated Eid together, prayed together. And it's just amazing to see this outpouring of support from the community. Before I get started, I want to give a round of applause to our hosts, Naved and Iram Khan. I know that they like to be behind the scenes, but this is beyond anything that I could have asked for. When I decided that I was going to run for office, one of the first calls that we got is from Naved, and showing how excited he was and wanting to put together something like this. And this outpouring of so many amazing people is just a show of how great they are. So give them a round of applause. I know a lot of you are here because of the engine that runs behind me, and so I want to call out my wife Gul Siddiqui. Can you stand up? And if you're part of my family, raise your hands. I want to give all of them a round of applause as well. All of my relatives that are here. So, brothers and sisters, we are in a moment. This is a moment in history. This is a happy occasion that we're together, but the reason why this is such an important time for us is a very sad situation with our brothers and sisters in Gaza. May Allah alleviate the suffering that they're going through. My brother-in-law, who's with us today, his family's from Gaza, and they've lost countless members of their family. 2014, 9 of their family members died. And this bombing campaign, countless numbers have died and have been sheltering in Rafah. This hits close to home. This is my why. This is why I'm running for office, because the blood of Gaza runs through my nieces and nephews' veins. Like, this is part of me. This is not something that's obscure. Every single day for this past 9 months, it has been something that has gutted each of us to see these images that are coming out each and every day. And you know what I've done here in this community with CARE. We've worked on the city level. We've worked on a school board level. This is why these elections are so important. Give a round of applause to these great candidates as well. Each and every one of these positions, we have to turn out. We have to turn out in this election. We need to show the power. This is the power of the community that's showing up right now. We cannot sit by and allow APAC-funded candidates to sit on school boards. We cannot allow APAC-funded candidates to sit on Phoenix City Council or to run for any of these other offices, Chandler City Council. And they're in every single corner of this democracy. This is not a democracy when people are just flooding tens of millions of dollars into our election system, telling lies and justifying a genocide. We cannot allow that. I've sat in these congressional meetings this past 8 months. I've come face to face with these elected officials. And I look them in the eye and I'm telling them our community members are dying. Their families are dying. People in my community in Washington State have lost over 100 family members of some of their families, 80, 90. One of the members of CARE in Sacramento, he's lost over 100 members of his family. This is not some obscure conversation that's happening. This is having a tangible impact, and they're dehumanizing our brothers and sisters and continuing to vote for this genocide to happen. So the district that we moved into, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will, in 2020 was CD8. And we were told by the Democratic Party, this is a purple district. This is a district that, we have to get a Democrat elected, because if a Democrat is elected in this purple district, we're going to stop fascism from happening. We're going to stop, all of these bad things from happening. And so what did I do? I turned out to vote. I told my community members to turn out to vote. All of our Palestinian brothers and sisters, all of our Muslim brothers and sisters, all of our communities of color came and turned out for Kim Schreier. And what did she do these past 9 months during this genocide? What did she do? She voted to censure her Democratic colleague, Rashida Tlaib. She voted to defund UNRWA, which delivers life-saving humanitarian assistance to Palestinians. She just voted last week to sanction the International Criminal Court from punishing people like Benjamin Netanyahu and all of these other Israeli elected officials. And she's continued to vote to send these bombs to murder our brothers and sisters and 15,000 children. Shame, yes, exactly. Did she help our community by being a Democrat, having a D next to her name, and just continuing this genocide? Answer the question. Did she? No. This is the moment where we have to change history, brothers and sisters. This is the moment. This is why I'm running. This is why I'm putting myself on the line. I'm putting my family on the line to make sure that people from our community have the bravery to stand up and run against people who are upholding this genocide. And think about it. Does anybody want their tax dollars to go and fund bombing people overseas? No. I don't think, whatever side of the equation you're on, you want to pay less taxes, and you don't think of all of the things that come into our district that we could be paying for if we weren't spending hundreds of billions of dollars bombing other people. We could have universal health care. By the way, Israelis have universal health care. Do we have universal health care in this country? No. Education. We have, my son is starting college this fall. I'm gonna start getting those tuition bills. The cost of education is skyrocketing. What are we doing? We could have subsidized education, forgive people's college debts. In terms of affordable housing, where we live, making a dual income salary, you can barely afford to even pay for a house up there. It's even more expensive than what it's gotten to be here in Chandler. Do we have affordable housing that's being paid, subsidized by the government? Are we incentivizing cities to build affordable housing for all of these communities? No, we're not. So this is what I'm running on. We need to start sending our tax dollars in our own community and stop sending arms to Israel. This is not going to be an easy fight, brothers and sisters. I don't want to take too long. I didn't plan on running, but this was a moment, like I've said. This is a moment in history where we have to stand up. I want you to give a round of applause for all those people at ASU who stood up and put their bodies on the line in those encampments. People like Hazem and so many other people in our community. The students. People are risking their futures right now. Thank you, Anna, for standing up for the free speech of our children. Our children are going to college, and they're putting their lives and their bodies on the line in order to stand up against this genocide. What are we doing as adults who are living in the comfort of our own homes? What are we doing to stand up against this genocide? This is why I'm standing up. I want to make sure that we have candidates that are continuing to run, to continue to challenge the status quo, to continue to challenge the machinery of the Democratic Party. I've never voted for a Republican in my life because we've lived in this age of Islamophobia where we've been bombed endlessly by Republican administrations. That's why I'm running as a Democrat. But the Democratic Party cannot be a party of hypocrisy. They have to stand on the right side of justice, and people like me are going to stand up and make that difference. This is going to take a lot of money. This is a $2 million undertaking. None of this money comes to me, by the way. This is to build that machinery. Do you know how much Kim Schreier has in the bank right now, my opponent? $4.9 million. $4.9 million. She gets corporate donations. She gets donations from AIPAC, hundreds of thousands of dollars. She gets all different types of PAC donations in the pocket of basically big corporations and big, the pro-Israel lobby. You know how much money they spent on one race in Oregon, Sushila Jayapal's race? $7 million, taking out ads to attack a pro-Palestine candidate. We're going to be attacked. This is part of why it's me that's running, because I can withstand these attacks. You've seen me on the front lines. I've been an intersectional organizer here in Arizona. I've stood at the border protesting against ICE and making sure that families are not separated. Thank you. Yeah. I was a plaintiff on the first case against the Muslim ban against Trump. So we know that I'm not afraid to put myself on the line, but it's going to take money. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what it's going to cost to be there. We're trying to raise $2 million by June 30th. That's the FEC quarterly deadline. So we can deploy all of these weapons in July. The primary, like the Sister Shams said, is August 6th. So from July to August, we have to do as much as possible. So that means mailers. Each mailer that's sent out to the district is going to cost $40,000. We want to do at least 2 of these mailers. This is a huge district. Making sure, yes, I know we're not seeing the community in Washington, but at our launch party, we had 350 people show up. You know, they're energized. We have 9,000 Muslims voting in this district. In the state of Washington, over 90,000 people voted uncommitted in this presidential primary. 90,000. And there was only, yes. And great job to everybody who's doing this electoral organizing right now. We need that level of energy and that organizing because we have to stand up to Genocide Joe as well. So there was only 8 days to organize the uncommitted campaign and over 90,000. So this wasn't just Muslims that voted uncommitted during the primary. This was people of conscience. This was the Latino community. This is the Asian American community. This is white. You know, you see these protests. At least 1/3 to 50% of them are Jewish brothers and sisters who don't want this done in their name. So shout out to our brothers and sisters from Jewish Voice for Peace and so many other organizations. But we need that paid door knocking. We need canvassers. We need people on the ground to say that name, to make sure that they're putting out those yard signs, putting up those flyers, putting up everything. We need to have campaign managers, you know, people like Zakir. We need to make sure that Zakir is, you know, like we have his back. He's taking 2 months off from his job at the coffee shop to make sure that my campaign is going to be running. That's a hardship on his family as well. So, yeah. So what can you do to donate? So for a federal election, each person, if you're able to do so, you're able to donate up to $3,300 per person. So if you're a husband and wife, that means that you can donate. There's a QR code on this little sheet right here. You can do it from your phone. We want you to do this tonight. We need this money as soon as possible. So a couple, husband and wife, can do $6,600, for example. Each voter in your household can do up to $3,300. So if you're able to do that, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you for the ability to do that, then definitely do that. I know not everybody has that ability to do it, but like Brother AJ said, do it until it hurts. You know, like you got to make it hurt sometimes. There's no turning back from this. We don't want to look back at this election and say we didn't do everything at our disposal in order to make this a success. You can donate on a monthly basis. You can give us a check. There's lots of ways of doing it. Come and talk to me afterward. I want, Imam Omar Tawil, who's a great friend and has had my back this entire time, has been a great asset to this community here, to come up and say a few words as well. He can tell you a little bit more about it. But before you leave today, donate something because, and like I said, even though I'm running in Washington State, I represent all of you. You are the people that I came up with. The values that were inculcated. I was not an activist when I moved here to Arizona in 2005. I was not anybody who was known in the masjid. I was not somebody who was known in the community. And you all are the ones that honed me into what you see today. So this is a reflection of this Arizona Muslim community, mashallah. So give yourselves a round of applause. So Jazakallah khair, everybody, for showing up. I hope I can meet each and every one of you and shake your hand and give you a hug. Jazakallah khair, and I'll turn it over to Imam Omar Tawil.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Even when we make it to Congress, we hold you hostage from the food. No matter the fundraising initiative, we hold our Muslim supporters hostage from the food. It's there, it smells delicious, but almost, not yet. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, I've known Imran ever since I moved here in 2018. He's been a dear friend. I've worked with him. He's helped me become a better imam by making me and encouraging me to stand in the places where imams need to be standing, not just in the prayer hall, but also on the streets and also in the houses of Congress or wherever the Muslims are being active for their community and where we reach out to our allies. Imams are not only for the mimbar. Imams are here to speak for their community. Imams are here to represent what their community believes in. And I want to make a note. This genocide that is being imparted upon our brothers and sisters in Palestine and in Gaza has shown us something very clear. It doesn't matter what color you're going to vote for in the Senate or the Congress or in the presidential election. There are principles that can be shared on both sides of the aisle. And in this gathering, we experienced someone speaking that I know many people here disagree with. When I was 17 years old, I woke up for Fajr with my father, was walking out the door, and ICE agents burst into our house. This was in Chicago. I was 17 years old, and that was the second time that I've had a gun pointed at my face. The first time was in Jerusalem, where I grew up. So I'm very familiar with it. But that doesn't mean that when it comes to this issue today, where we are facing a suppression of free speech. We see it in companies, Muslims losing their jobs. As an imam, I've had to cry with a lot of men and women who've lost their job because they just simply said that they were Muslim and that they supported their brothers and sisters in Palestine. We were there, me, Hazim, and a bunch of other Muslims, we were there with the students the night that they started the encampment at ASU. So we've seen it firsthand. We've seen it in our own faces, the suppression of speech. And guess what? It's not coming from one side, it's coming from both. So the Muslims that we promote, the Muslims that we want to represent us, they have to be willing to speak on a principled stance that will make them go against their own colleagues in Congress or in the Senate. And they have to be willing to reach across the aisle to other people of different parties that are willing to stand up for free speech. And there are plenty. As an imam, I speak with very conservative Christians, very conservative Muslims politically and socially, and very liberal and very progressive Christians and Muslims and Jews. And I'm telling you, this is not a monolithic issue. This is not about Democrats versus Republicans. And what we have to do is reach across the aisle to work with our values, free speech, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. And here, as many of us as being people of faith, we have to advocate for free speech when it comes to Palestine, Sudan, China, our Muslim brothers, the Uyghur, who many of our Muslim leaders across the world are still remaining silent on. Unknown. No matter what it is that we want our free speech for, we also need it for our religious values. And guess what? That means when it comes to people of the progressive movement, we're going to have to disagree on things. But we have our right to speak our piece. We have a right to hold our convictions. And when it comes to the other side of the aisle, we also have to hold our peace. And I am confident in Brother Imran Siddiqui. I am confident. I've never donated to a campaign in my life.
Until now.
Don't speak on my behalf, brother.
His budget?
I have, with an imam's salary, maybe advocate for change on imam's salaries and then they'll start donating. Our lifestyle is a donation, alhamdulillah. So, I've never donated to a political campaign in my life, and wallahi, I've kind of even laughed at it. My own high school friend, a very close friend of mine, I moved from Chicago, I moved here, and he ran for office, and I'm like, maybe if I still lived there. You're close to my heart, and wallahi, maybe if I still lived there, I would care. And he's someone who's advocating for the education system. He says most Muslims in Chicago go to public schools. That's what I'm trying to fight for, and that's what I'm trying to protect, what Muslim families need in public schools. And may Allah increase you and keep you on that same path, inshallah, brother. So this is something that we have to recognize. And yes, you spoke about me before. I will be donating, inshallah ta'ala. I might not be able to max out the $3,300, again, imam salary, but inshallah ta'ala, I will be putting my money where my mouth is, bi'idhnillah. So I ask you to do the same. And I know I'm keeping you from the food, but I have to invite Brother Mahir Iraqat, one of our big pillars in this Muslim community. Me and Ahmed always reach out to your family a lot, and you've never refused our call when it comes to supporting Muslims and supporting Muslims in the whatever our needs are. So I invite Brother Mahir Iraqat to also help you encourage you to purchase your freedom so you can get to the food. purchase your freedom tonight so you can get to your food, inshallah. God bless, Brother Maher.
Thank you, brother and Imam Omar. Big hand, please. Big hand to all of you. You know, the faster we can do this, the faster you're going to eat. So we're going to hold you hostage like Imam Omar said. Repeat after me. Amran. 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 Okay, all right, good. So we all ready? What do you mean, never? So
he's in education, that's why. I feel you with the salary, man. Ugh.
You all know what it takes to do what Brother Imran is doing. You know it takes money. You know your opponent is what, $5 million already up? Yeah. So maybe tonight we can reach that, huh? Inshallah. All right. So, you know, I'm going to start with myself tonight by donating $1,000 to your campaign. Where's the volunteers to come and collect the checks, the money, everything else, you know? No volunteers tonight?
No, they're here. They got their hands up.
Okay. All right. We're going to walk around, and hopefully you can all step up, and we can do all this fast and furious, you know?
They can do it from their phone as well.
You can do it from your phone. If you want to give a check, we'll take your check. We take credit cards, don't we? Yes. We take credit cards. We take checks. We need pens from the volunteers. Please step up, everybody. We need to support this gentleman. He's a good man. You know, he's going to be there. He's going to represent all of us. We are all Americans at the end of the day. We all come from different backgrounds, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Latino, Arab, you know. What do we got here? We got a check for $1,000.
Wow.
Next, please. We need to hear some more volunteers, some more.
Hey, Matt, do you want me to announce that I already donated online or what?
Let me see. I know Brother David is always steps up.
Underneath your vases, you have all of the pamphlets to donate and the QR codes under the vases on your table. Again, the max that you're allowed to donate per person, per household is $3,300. So for a married couple, that's $6,600. And for a family of 3, that's $9,900. So $3,300 per person, per household. Per person, per household. That is the maximum. And it's the time for right now for Muslims to put their money where their mouth is. And I guarantee you, insha'Allah ta'ala, by the will of Allah, that this is something that insha'Allah will begin to spur a movement. Muslims, a lot of us, we feel shy and we feel unwilling or uncommitted to a political movement or any political activism. We're very skeptical, and that's understandable. But where you have Muslims who've spent their careers in civil rights activism, now you have them primed for this moment. And again, it's come to a point where we have not taken advantage of our political activism or our political voices in this country. It's gotten to the point where a genocide is happening with our tax dollars. Like we said, what is it? Over $180 billion has been given to Ukraine and Israel over this funding war. Funding war. I don't care what you agree with or what you don't agree with on what things we should initiate, but if we can spend over $180 billion on the killing of people or on the promotion of war, but we can't put that to education or housing the homeless, then this is something that's going to wreak havoc on the future of our children and our children's children, inshallah. And especially when that money is being spent to kill our brothers and sisters.
Got a check for $200.
Bismillah, mashallah.
By the way, David Shamio donated $2,700. Thank you, David. You always step up.
And I want to say one more thing. For those of us who need a verse of the Quran, in Surah Al-Anfal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the people who reject His signs and the people who are oppressors, they exhaust their wealth to serve their oppression. They exhaust their wealth to serve their crimes, and they will regret it. So may Allah put the blessings in the money that is donated so that, inshallah, if you don't have $4.7 million, Imran, in your campaign, it'll go 3 times as far as your opponent's $4.7 million. We believe in blessings, people. We believe in blessings. So bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we can start by putting, inshallah, our investment in our brothers and sisters who will maintain their Islamic values with, inshallah ta'ala, their activism, and they will not disappoint you, bi'idhnillah.
I have 500 from this table here.
So I know this will be a little less traditional where we don't do the auction, but we will try to encourage you and give you a few more moments to hesitate, to think, to pray on inshallah writing a check or offering some cash or using the QR code to use your credit card inshallah. Again, free speech is being suppressed on both sides of the aisle, and we need to put it inshallah ta'ala at the front of our ballot, that this is the primary issue for our political beliefs, for our differences of opinion, and for our religious values inshallah ta'ala. We have another donation.
Yes, we have a donation of $3,000. Dr. Asim, thank you so much.
And we have another for 3,300.
We have another one for 3,300.
Bismillah.
Bismillah. We have another one for 6,600.
They're maxing out, alhamdulillah.
Maxing out. Come on, keep it coming. We have one for 250.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah ta'ala, I wanted to mention something about this concept of freedom of speech, like we said. It's being protected and preserved on both sides of the aisle. We've seen Genocide Joe try to promote this idea of blue no matter who. Blue no matter who. We don't take that. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Unsur akhaka zaliman aw mazluma." Bring deliverance and bring victory to your brother, be he oppressed or the oppressor. And they said, "O Messenger of God, we know how to defend the oppressed. But how do we bring victory to the oppressor?" He said, "By correcting him." So we don't stand only on one side of the aisle. Muslims, we go where truth is. We go where truth is, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless Imran with standing up with the truth.
I have a donation for 500.
500, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, barakallahu feek.
I have one more for 200.
And for 200, barakallahu feekum, inshallah. Bismillah, we have the volunteers walking around. Please raise your hand. We don't have to mention your name if you want to keep it secret, bismillah, but we want to keep you motivated.
Imam Umar, we have one for 500 also.
We have 500 and another 500 right now.
Another 500.
Bismillah, take that.
Keep it coming.
Again, the faster the checks come, the faster we get to eat.
That's right. We're going to hold you hostage like Imam Umar said. Please, let's do it fast.
Maybe we can do a rough tally at the end.
I'm going to come down here to this section here. How do I do that? Is this the ocean view or the desert view here? Any checks? Come on, brothers and sisters. We need to support our brother Imran.
The volunteers, please raise your hand. Please raise your hand if you're collecting the checks or you're collecting money.
We have
raise
one
your
here.
hand so that you can see them. I don't see enough in the back. Brother Maher is out there walking in the back, but there should be volunteers.
I'm working the ocean side here. You keep the desert side.
Oh, bismillah, bismillah.
I have the ocean view here.
We have another one for 300, alhamdulillah.
All these people on the... You did? Thank you so much.
3,300, alhamdulillah. Another person maxing out.
A lot of these beautiful people donated online already.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
Thank you all.
Barakallahu feekum. And this is for the primary that ends on August 6th. This is up until August 6th, where then there's a new round of fundraising, inshallah. So, bismillah, what we need more than money, ya ikhwan, what we need more than money, my dear brothers and my sisters, are your salah, your prayers, your dua, inshallah, that Allah put His success in this affair. Barakallahu feekum. Bismillah.
We're not done. We're still working on it.
Do you want to take the mic?
Okay, yeah, I can just say thank you to everyone. All right. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much, Imam Umar and Brother Maher as well. Thank you so much, brother.
Another one for 3,300.
The outpouring of...
Hold on, Brother Imran, hold on. I have more money for you.
I've been preempted, sorry.
I have another 3,300 for you.
Okay, we have another
3,300, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Keep it coming, brothers and sisters. This is the time. This is the time.
Come on, let's step it up and do it.
We have to...
Please.
We have to make our voice heard in this political system. So thank you so much to everybody who's donated so far. I know it's time for dinner, so...
He donated 500 online and 500.
Okay, inshallah. You want to announce dinner, inshallah?
No, he doesn't want to announce, but tell him that...
Okay. Yeah, we got another $1,000 right there. Jazakallah khair.
Brother Akhtar donated 6,600. May Allah bless you.
Okay, we're going to start the food, everybody. So at your leisure, you can donate online as well. So thank you so much, everyone. And come and talk to me. Let's chat, inshallah. Jazakallah khair.
I have one.